African Continental Free Trade Area. Zanzibar Investment Summit 2025 underway.
We are looking people to invest into tourism, we're looking people to invest into digitalization, healthcare, agriculture, manufacturing, processing industry.
Good evening, I am Kanki Mwegomole. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. The Minister of Industry and Trade, Dr. Seleman Jaffo, urges the African Continental Free Trade Area experts to ensure that the rules and regulations of the origin for textiles and clothing are finalized so as to provide an opportunity for textile and clothing manufacturers to produce in bulk, a move that will reduce the importation of used clothes from outside the continent. Minister Jaffo made the remarks in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, while addressing the 16th African Continental Free Trade Area Cabinet meeting, where Tanzania has also handed over the chairmanship to Egypt after serving in the position in 2024. Rehema Sebabili has more.
Addressing the meeting, Jaffo said that during the period that Tanzania has chaired the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, it has successfully completed the annex to the investment protocol on settlement of investment disputes, the e-commerce protocol, and the ratification of the ministerial regulations on granting special market preference to women and youth entrepreneurs, as well as establishing a mechanism for reviewing the implementation of the agreement.
Among the major things we did, we were among the 8 countries that have grown in the guided trade initiative process. We did well in that area where we were able to sell 20 more products and participate in 18 countries where we initially did not have that opportunities.
On the other hand, the Executive Secretary of the African Free Trade Area, Wamkele Mene, insists that there is a need to continue to encourage the remaining African countries to complete the process and ratify the agreement in order to accelerate the implementation of the agreement and stimulate the development of investment, industries and trade, and strengthen the economy within Africa.
This instrument, the LECAF, is so critical. That is why the immediate challenge must be for us as ministers of trade to introduce rules that will enable the trade in agricultural products to feed our continent and the rest of the world. It is unacceptable that Africa imports over $52 billion annually worth of agricultural products when we say we have over 60% of the world's arable remaining land.
Up to January 2025, 43 Tanzanian companies have successfully exported their products to various African countries through the agreement using the AfCFTA certificate of origin, where a total of 226 certificates have been issued to those companies, with the product exported in large quantity through the certificate being hemp fiber averaging to 6,150 tons to Nigeria, Ghana, Morocco and Egypt, float glass 1,433 tons to Egypt, rice 433 tons to Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire, and coffee 273.3 tons to Algeria. Rehema Sebabili, TBC News.
The Executive Director of Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority, ZIPA, Saleh Saad Muhammad, says the Zanzibar Revolutionary Government has allocated more than 800 acres in Pemba to attract investment in the areas of tourism, residential buildings, industries, fishing, digital and transportation sectors. He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam heading to the Zanzibar Investment Summit 2025, which is expected to be held on May the 7th to the 10th in Pemba Island, aiming at attracting investment to the island. The ZIPA Executive Director says that the Zanzibar revolutionary government has set various incentives for local and foreign investors to invest in Zanzibar, including being granted tax exemption on the import of construction of raw materials.
So we have our Investment Act number 10 of 2023, but also the nature, the way we are operating in a receptive way, of which a part of the investment that are documented within the book of providing an exemption of land lease for up to 5 years, providing or giving investors an exemption on importation during construction, allowing foreign investors to employ foreign workers, especially expertise. But apart from that, we are really to sit down and discussing the best way forward, where there will be a mutual benefit between the government and all investors who really want to invest in Zanzibar.
Furthermore, the executive director adds that investment in Pemba has begun to improve, estimated to have an investment worth $1 billion, which has been invested in various sectors, including hotels, housing, and industries.
Invest into tourism, we're looking for people to invest into digitalization, healthcare, agriculture, manufacturing, processing industries, digitalization. The world is moving into digital way, and we have allocated land for them. Whoever is ready to invest in Pemba, the government have allocated land in all sectors for them to invest.
The summit is expected to be accompanied by trade fairs, marathons, and investment site visits, where the president of the revolutionary government of Zanzibar, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, is expected to grace the event. In other news, the Minister for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Adolf Mkenda, says the government will continue to support local innovators through funds and affordable loans provisions aiming to promote science and technology in Tanzania. He made the remarks during the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between Tanzania Commission of Science and Technology, COSTECH, and CRDB Bank through the Imbeju program, where 2.3 billion Tanzanian shillings has been allocated to boost local startups and innovators. Peter Mganga has the following report.
Tanzania has made vividly positive strides in science and technology sector, supporting many young people through innovation. Despite the progress made by many innovators and startups, still they lack funds that will help them to develop and promote their innovation. Here, Professor Adolf Mkenda elaborates steps taken and strategies set up to enhance science and technology in Tanzania through Samia Commercialization Fund.
Leo tunashuhudia hatua ya suluhisho ya changamoto hiyo.
Today we are witnessing a step towards addressing this challenge through a guarantee scheme coordinated by CRDB. On behalf of the government, through COSTECH, these agreements aim to empower innovators, especially young people, to enter the production value chain, strengthening private sector participation, and practical contribute to the achievement of Sustainable Development Goals number 8 and 9.
Hususan SDG number 8 na number 9.
On the other hand, the CRDB Foundation Managing Director, Tuli Mwampamba, explains why CRDB Bank opt to support startups and young innovators in Tanzania, while the COSTECH Director General urges innovators to seize the opportunity.
Mkataba huu tunaosaini leo kati ya benki ya CRDB.
This contract that we are signing today between CRDB and COSTECH is a strategic step towards advancing digital transformation and innovation by supporting small enterprises among young people. Through this agreement, CRDB will provide loans worth 2.3 billion Tanzanian shillings to small enterprises and innovative businesses.
Changa na biashara bunifu za vijana.
Natoa rai kwa wadau wengine kushirikiana na COSTECH kuchangia mfuko wetu.
We are calling on other stakeholders to collaborate with us and contribute to our fund so that we can increase opportunities for more innovators to access financial assistance. We are opening to working with other partners to reach and empower more young people. Totally, CRDB Bank has allocated 4.6 billion Tanzania shillings for 2 phases, where phase 1 involving 2.3 billion Tanzania shillings for the first phase. Peter Mganga, TBC News, Dar es Salaam.
Thank you so much, Peter Mganga, for that reportage. The ambassador of Mozambique to Tanzania, Ricardo Mtumbuida, says Tanzania and Mozambique continue to enjoy strong political and diplomatic ties, championed by President Samia Suluhu Hassan of Tanzania and President Daniel Chapo of Mozambique, who share a common development vision. Speaking to my colleague Caroline Maleo, Ambassador Mtumbudia further explains that Tanzania and Mozambique have great potential for collaboration in the gas and energy sectors as both countries continue to perform well in harnessing their natural resources.
Our relationships, they are very, very good. They are relationships of our brotherhood. Because if you go to the south of Tanzania, which is the northern part of Mozambique, so you find the same people. And me, myself, I'm very, very wondering when I go for any recession. So the dancings, the steps they take, they are same in Mozambique. So you can say at the end of the day that Mozambique and Tanzania, they're really brothers. Let me say in a political term, in political terms, yes, we are very, very good. What we need now, it is an economical part. And that is what I think our two presidents, Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan and His Excellency Daniel Francisco Chap, for sure, they are committed to do.
Looking ahead, what emerging opportunities do you see that our two countries can tap in, both Mozambique and Tanzania?
Since between the two presidents have the same view of the development of our countries, in Mozambique we are having huge project, many projects of development that can merge and cooperate with Tanzanian part. Mozambique it's a producer of gas. Tanzania also. In Mozambique, we have a huge dams which are producing the electricity, hydroelectricity. In Tanzania now, me myself, I went to see. I was invited to go and see the Mwalimu Nyerere Dam, hydro dam. So we have to push out ourselves. In Twara as a port, we in Mozambique, in Pemba of Mozambique, not Pemba in Tanzania, we have a very big port. So these areas could be whether the matter of discussing ourselves and cooperate ourselves. When Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, paid visit on 2022. She promised, she said to the President Nyusi at the time that we have to cooperate in the economical aspects, yes, apart from the political aspects.
In the quiet shadow of Easter, before the cross, before the resurrection, there's a night of intimacy, of commandment, and of betrayal. This is the Holy Thursday. Faith Ngaga has prepared the following feature.
Maundy Thursday, also known as Holy Thursday, commemorates the final meal Jesus shared with his disciples. This was more than just a meal. It was a moment that reshaped Christian faith forever. It was here that Jesus introduced the Eucharist, or the Holy Communion. "This is my body, this is my blood," he said, words that Christians around the world still echo today. But what truly stunned his followers wasn't just the breaking of the bread. It was what he did next. He took a towel and washed their feet. In a world obsessed with status, Jesus flipped the script. He knelt, he served, And in doing so, he gave his disciples and all believers a commandment: to love one another as I have loved you. This is where the name Mondi comes from, mandatum, Latin for commandment. But the night did not end in peace. In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus prayed in agony, knowing what was to come: betrayal. Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples, betrayed him with a kiss. The wheels of the crucifixion were now in motion. Today, Holy Thursday, is marked around the world with reverence. Churches hold communion services, foot-washing rituals, and quiet vigils. It is a night that invites Christians to remember, to reflect, and to serve. Before the cross, there was the table. Before the tomb, there was the towel. Holy Thursday reminds us that true power lies not in dominance, but in love. Faith Ngaga, TBC News.
The government, through Watumishi Housing Investment, has allocated 18 billion shillings for the construction of a 101 housing project in Mikocheni area in Dar es Salaam for public servants, aiming to improve housing for the servants. Speaking to TBC News in Dar es Salaam, the board chairman of Investment and Finance Committee, Celestine Muganga, says the implementation of the project has already begun since September 26th last year and is expected to be completed on March 26th, 2026.
Tunatarajia kuwa na nyumba ambazo mtumishi moja atapata 101.
We expect to have houses that each individual public servant will receive. Here in Mikocheni, it is close to the city, so when the staff move here, they will have access to good housing near town, which is the government's goal to ensure public servants have decent housing.
Tunaangalia zaidi kwamba tumwezeshe mtumishi aweze kupata nyumba.
We are focusing more on empowering public servants to own homes and achieve financial freedom. That's why we introduced the Faida Fund, where individuals invest money and earn a return. The initial costs were a bit high, but we made efforts to reduce them to a certain extent so that the houses could be sold at an affordable price.
The chairman says that following the great need for housing, the corporation, in collaboration with the government, expects to start construction projects in various parts of the country. In case you missed any of our news stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and watch anytime, anywhere. Before concluding the local news tonight, let's take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Every weekday. International news is up next. Defense forces within the Southern African Development Community SADC region have been called upon to prioritize mental health support for personnel to enhance their welfare and effectiveness. Here are more details.
Before he proceeds to Cape Verde, he met the President, Comrade Emmerson Dabuzwa Mnangagwa at State House to say, bye-bye, I'm leaving your country after 5 years. Quite a number of highlights of his visit, including when his president, Mr. Joao Lorenzo, handed over the chairmanship of SADC to the President, Comrade Emmerson Dabuzwa Mnangagwa. He said he leaves a satisfied man.
During my 5 years here, we last year in May, we finally have the second session of bilateral cooperation between two countries, and we signed that period 11 legal instruments in different areas to strengthen the bilateral relationship between two countries. And I said to the president that I believe that taking in account the experience and the pragmatism of His Excellency Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, the SADC, the chairmanship of SADC is in good hands, is in safe hands with the President Mnangagwa. And I told the President that I learned many things here in Zimbabwe. For example, leaving no place behind. Nika inovakwa nevene vayo.
He leaves the country this week for Luanda, Angola.
And that's the end of the international news. Sports news is up next. Wydad Casablanca head coach Rulani Mokoena believes that African teams that have qualified for the Club World Cup can do well and inspire the African continent in the new tournament. Mokoena, who once coached Mamelodi Sundowns in his home country, South Africa, says that all the 4 African teams that will participate in the tournament are of good quality, so they have the potential to do well, with their team's star Muhammad Rai praising the fan base.
I think, we can expect the African nations in relation to the clubs to do very well, and I've been fortunate enough to work with 2 of the 4 that have qualified. Mamelodi Sundowns, of course, because I was there and helped the club qualify, and so I have great regards and warm wishes for them to do exceptionally well. And then, of course, my excitement is for us as Wydad. I think we will surprise a lot of people. We've got some very difficult games, but we've got a very strong group.
We have one of the best fans in the world, and for sure they will come, and I think it will be the same as here. So, and the fans, that's our strength, because they are always behind us in the home games and also away games. So I think they will come to USA and they will do the same like here. So it's an advantage for us.
Club World Cup arrived in Casablanca for the final African stop among the 4 teams that qualified for the tournament, which will be held for the first time in the United States in June this year and will involve a total of 32 teams. And that's the end of the sports news. But before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello dear viewers, and thank you for joining us for the next 24 weather forecast. And by starting within the patterns, tomorrow we expect the light wind of 20 kilometers per hour for the entire water bodies. And the state of the sea together with the lake is expected to be slight. Landfall models are still portraying the presence of rainfall activities over most parts of the country. So for tonight we expect western part of the country together with Lake Victoria Basin to feature its partly cloud conditions, thunder showers over a few areas. Northeastern Highland, the entire coastal areas together with southern region are expected to feature partly cloud condition, rain showers over a few areas. And for the rest part of the country are expected to feature partly cloud conditions. Tomorrow we expect western part of the country, Lake Victoria Basin together with the coastal areas to feature partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas and sun periods. Northeastern Highland is expected to feature partly cloud condition, rain showers over a few areas and sun periods. Southwestern Highland together with southern region are expected to feature partly cloud condition, light rain showers over a few areas and sun periods. And for the central part of the country is expected to feature partly cloud condition and sun periods. Let us see next 4 days forecast from different cities and regions. Dar es Salaam rain showers are expected. The maximum temperature is 32 degrees. Dodoma sun period and light rain are expected. The maximum temperature is 30 degrees. Mbeya rain showers and thunder showers are expected. The maximum temperature is 25 degrees. Mwanza thunder showers are expected. The maximum temperature is 31 degrees. Kilimanjaro, rain showers are expected. The maximum temperature is 30 degrees. Morogoro, rain showers are expected. The maximum temperature is 30 degrees. Arusha, maximum temperature is 27 degrees. I'm Rebecca William from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Thank you.
Marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Kanki Mwegomole. Catch us again tomorrow. Good night.